Okay, to copy your course, first of all, you need to log into Blackboard, and you can do that obviously through the main FontBond website under Resources for Faculty and Staff. But I would point out that you can go directly there to bblearn.fontbond.edu and go ahead and log in as you normally would, and then that'll take you to this page. You're going to see your My Institution tab and your Courses tab here, and you can tell there are two ways to get to your courses. Now, for this account, I only have 3 listed here. If you have lots and lots of courses, that's going to get a little bit hairier for you. So if you click on Courses, it sort of gets rid of those extraneous widgets, and you can just focus on the classes that you're looking at. Now, if I'm doing a course copy, what I want to do is first of all go to the source course. Let's say I've got a course from spring 2012 here, and I want to copy it into my fall 2012 course. So I can go ahead and click on my spring course. And now I can see that there's lots and lots of information here, and I probably don't need this stuff. I can tell from here that when I did my course copy last time, I really wasn't following directions very well. So I may want to have to clean that up when I get to my fall course. But I know that this is where my content lies. So I want to go down to the control panel. And to course copy, I go to Packages and Utilities. And then I can see my option to course copy here. Now, what I can do is click on Copy Materials into an existing course. Depending on your role, you may or may not have those choices. It may just automatically be there for you. I go down here, and once I've done that, I can see that there's a little browse button here. If I know my course ID by heart, I can just type it in, but I definitely am not that bright, so I'm going to go ahead and browse through my courses. And I can see my list of courses here. Now, one of the things, again, that I would note, if you've got lots and lots of courses, it will generally only show so many on a page. So if you have lots of them, and you are scrolling down and you don't see the one that you're looking for, it goes alphabetical by your course ID. So if you don't see it there, first of all, don't panic. Courses don't disappear. They don't just vanish into thin air. It's there somewhere. The first thing you want to do is, and I don't have it here because I only have 3, but if you look down to this area, you can see that there's a Show All and an Edit Paging, and it has displaying 1 of 3 items. If there is another page with more courses, you're going to see that displayed here. So if you don't see it in your first listing, always go to that because it's probably on the next page. All right, so I know that I'm copying from my spring course. I want to copy into my fall, so all I got to do is click the little circle here. And you will notice that you can only copy to 1 course at a time. It will only show the blue in 1 area. It'd be nice if you could copy to all of your courses at once, but we can't do that yet. It goes into the suggestion box. So once I've selected it, I'm going to click Submit. And now I can see that my official course ID, the one I did not want to memorize, is going to show up in my text box here. Now to copy my course materials, all I need to do is, first of all, frankly, it's just easier to hit Select All. Okay, so that allows you to select everything that you've done, for the entire semester. Now, I'm noticing right here that anything that says fall, spring, anything that appears to be dated, I don't want that. I know that in my fall course or my live course, whatever term it is, that these things are updated automatically by the system. And if I copy these, it's just going to be extra buttons I'm going to have to delete later on. So I know I don't want to do that. I know I don't want to include Ask IT Tech Tips because, again, that's already a part of the template, and so I don't want to worry about that. You may want to make your own call about if there are other areas of the course that you don't want to copy over. All right. I can scroll down here, and the other area that I know I do not want to copy, and this is across the board. It really doesn't matter what is in your class or what judgments you want to make about different things. I need that settings button off. The reason for that is if I keep it on, that new information is not going to apply to my course. What I have in my source course, which is my spring class, that is going to trump whatever is in my fall class. And what that means then is that my students are not getting the most up-to-date contacts, the most up-to-date policies, and that may seem like a small thing, but when we have turnover going on, it's very important that they have the appropriate contacts. So information like contacts information for the Kinkle Center and for online programs, this stuff has changed in the last year, and so if I don't leave that off, they're just going to get the wrong information. And again, we don't want to confuse anybody. This process is supposed to make it easier for everyone, not harder. So make sure that that settings button is marked off. I don't have to worry about managing package contents or calculating size. I'm just going to go ahead and click Submit. And then I see my success messages here, and an email will be sent when the process is complete. Now, I don't know about you, but I am way too impatient. I'm not going to sit around and wait for that. I'm going to go back to my courses. And then when I look at my listing, I can see something different here. It indicates that this course is actually being copied into by this source course, which is the spring, and it indicates that it's running. So if I click on that course, then I can see that, and because I didn't have a whole lot of content in here, I can see a notification that says, hey, the copy's done, you're good to go. If you run into any problems, check the log, which I can click on here and I can see that log. But when I scroll down here, I can see that my content has rolled over. I'm not going to worry about it. I can just get rid of it by clicking that X. Now, because I had everything roll over, I can see my announcements, I can see my faculty course information, but I had a button that said January meeting, I had one that said midterm, I had ones that said specific things, and they're not here. Now, my gut reaction is to call and say, hey, I just copied and it didn't work, or maybe I'll go to my course again, try the course copy again, and not realize something really, really important. This is a default menu. If you have information in a button that says course content, if you have information in course information, if you have those things set up in your source class, then that information will copy over. So if I click on my course content, I can see that my original course content had a Twitter feed and had a few other random test items in here, but not a whole lot. I know I had other very specific buttons. Realize that if it does not fit into the default, you have to scroll all the way down here because it is treated as a brand new button. And what's confusing for people is that if they expect to see that, they expect to see it in this area before they get to Fump on Resources. Realize that when it's brand new, it gets kicked all the way to the bottom. And that starts right here after email. So I can see information, content, January, all of that stuff. It actually, yes, it did copy over. I just didn't scroll down far enough. Now let's say I don't want it there. Okay, it's very annoying. And I want it to move up by the rest of my content. All I got to do is roll over the button. I can click on this little, you can see this up and down arrow here. I can click on it and I can drag it all the way to the top. Oops, I released it too early. Okay, click it over here and I can move it. Now, I will tell you that one of the little glitches here is that sometimes in certain browsers, when I try to move things, it gets knocked right back down to the same area, but if I try it again, it sticks. If you run into that problem, it's a browser problem rather than a Blackboard problem. If it persists, you may just want to try a different one. So I'm in Firefox right now, but if you go into Internet Explorer, that might make it easier for you. Your other option for reordering things, so you can see that I've got a huge set list of buttons here, and which is not really best practice. I should be consolidating a little bit, but I can click on this little up and down arrow here, and that's going to give me an option to reorder my items too. So if I've got a lot of things down here and I know that I want, let's say, my information on a January meeting, I want that to go up toward the top. All I have to do is click on it, click the arrow to move it up, and hit submit. And then it says the items have been reordered, and boom, there it is. Now let's say I do want to change this because, let's say for example, I have a really big meeting in one of my classes and I want it at the beginning of the term. Well, it's not January anymore. If I click on the little drop-down menu, which shows up as I roll over the item, I'm going to see this menu set right here. I can hide the link so that users can't see it. I can delete it if I made a mistake, but remember that once you delete it, it's gone. So please be careful about using that one. And then, I can click just rename. And so let's say I want to say that this is an August meeting. And I'm going to click my little check mark here, or I can click the X to get rid of it. And then it renames it. And so I'm fine. And this is the way I can kind of clean up my information. Because I didn't copy over those policy and contact buttons from old semesters, I've just got the current stuff, so I don't have to worry about it. If you did copy it over by accident, again, just go ahead, roll over the item, click that little drop down, and hit delete, and you can get rid of it. So you don't have to worry about it again.